Hi, grade six. Welcome to day or week two, not day two, week two of our continuous learning. We are going to continue learning through our summative project this week. So, today we are still in our orientation in space and time unit. So, our question today is going to be how will we prove the validity of our research? So, how do we know that someone else who comes across our research can trust what we've said? That we've learned this from reputable places and that this is our own learning and knowledge. So, our weekly learning objectives are to continue taking thorough notes from resources that you find, still working to identify the seven spokes, and documenting my credentials of the sources I found through Noodle Tools. So today, we are going to review the summative project, review how to use Noodle Tools, or learn for the first time if you have no experience with it. Then we are going to, on your own, you're going to add Noodle Tools resources to your project. This probably should say create a new project in Noodle Tools and add resources, and then continuing your research. So, if you recall from last week on two different days, I introduced the summative rubric, okay? And I showed you the different understandings that we're going to assess and the different levels of progress from no understanding to a very deep understanding. So we talked about how that can be very overwhelming. And while this is a little bit teacher oriented, but we want you to understand it, I wanted to kind of create something that might help you. So we talked last week about these four standards. So I said one, two, three, and four. So conducting short research projects, drawing on several resources, and refocusing the inquiry when appropriate. That's going to be evidenced through Noodle Tools and the research document from last week. So, the second standard, gathering relevant information from multiple sources, assessing the credibility, quoting or paraphrasing the data and conclusions of others while avoiding plagiarism, and providing bibliographic information, that is Noodle Tools. So, if you really focus hard on Noodle Tools and you do that well with all of your resources, you're going to successfully prove standards one and two. Standards three are analyzing the significance by inquiring into others and forming your own questions. That's going to be evidenced through your Noodle Tools and your research notes with those questions that you wrote. So, again, both of those things, the research notes from last week that you will continue and make better this week, the Noodle Tools research project that you will create and share starting today, those are going to show the first three standards. And then standard four with evaluating the influence, that is going to be evidence of or evidence through creating your made up civilization that will have a visual and an explanation. And we will talk more about this in the next couple of days. Okay. So when we think about creating this summative by December 10th, you have 10, counting today, 10 school days to get this done. It might seem like a lot, but when you think about the level of detail you might need to put into Noodle Tools, the research notes, and the mock civilization, that can seem like a lot. So I want you to really focus today on really using this time to get Noodle Tools and the research notes done, if possible. You can always add more, but you want to make sure that the bare minimum is done in the next couple of days so that you can then really focus on your mock civilization visual and explanation. Okay? So I just wanted to give you an overview of how those four standards are going to be evidenced through three different parts: the Noodle Tools, the research notes document with your questions, and your mock civilization. All right. So here is just a checklist I made to kind of help you. You will need to create, I should have said, or complete a research notes document that you already started. You just need to make corrections and continue adding a Noodle Tools project that you've shared with Miss Jones. So that's today, using a lot of the information you already have from your research notes. And then a made up civilization that will have, you see these are sub bullet points, a visual to show and introduce the civilization. There will be lots of options for how to do that. And an explanation. Whoops. Oh, I'm scrolling through these way too fast. There we go. An explanation of your civilization. There'll be lots of options for what that can look like. Okay. In order to make this video today not too crazy long, I separated and made a separate how to use Noodle Tools video. This is linked on Google Classroom. So this should not be new, but just in case you need a little refresher or you need a little bit of help, it's 12 minutes long, this video. Okay. I'm also working on like a visual slideshow, but it's taking a while. So this will be a faster way for you to access how to do that. So that is linked on there. Oops, I'm not going to make you
Hi, grade
listen to it
six.
now. There we go. And then the checklist for today: watch the video for Monday, watch the Noodle Tools how to video. Now, here's the must do's for Noodle Tools: open Noodle Tools to begin a new project, create a new project with a title that has your name and the civilization you're researching, share your project with G6 Ancient Civilization, add all of your resources under the project, add note cards for each resource you have used so far. All of these 4 must-dos are in the video, okay? They're all there. So if you're thinking, "Well, I don't know how to do that," don't worry, it's in the video. So that is why I said the second thing is watch this video. So then you know how to do all of these things later in the video, okay? And then you're gonna watch CNN 10. All right, so those are your tasks for today. Go ahead and get started and make sure you, I want to point out one other thing before you get going. In your work for Monday that will show up later, there's the slides I just went through today. There's the how to use Noodle Tools video. And this is the ICS library page and the login for the research website. So I just wanted to provide those links again because they are there. So make sure you check where all the links are for anything you might need for today's work. Okay? So you may go ahead and get started for Monday.